Hello, and welcome to this bonus episode of Nothing But Static, possibly a Ramblogue. You might be listening to this on our YouTube channel, where I've no doubt titled it something clickbait worthy. Disney, go woke and go broke, and then a picture of the Little Mermaid. That'll get views.
God, please don't do that.
It's so exhausting, isn't it? I'm going to put this right up front now. If anyone watches that Little Mermaid trailer and has any sort of problem with the content of that, fuck off. There's nothing in that trailer. Like, I don't even mean good or bad. I just mean that trailer is nothing. It's nothing. She's a lady singing.
It's like,
she looks kind of like the Little Mermaid. I've seen that cartoon. I recognise the imagery. She swims off. There's a little shadow of a flounder. Cool. You can't gain good or bad from that trailer. So if you've dubbed bad, and especially if you're talking about anything being woke, you're a cunt.
They should label that trailer, "This is the closest thing you'll ever see to a live action poster." Like, that's what that trailer is.
Yes, yeah, exactly. There's nothing to it. Look, I tell you what, actually, there is one thing you can judge from that. It's a very good singing voice. She sounds good.
Yeah, no, I think it looks fine. I think it looks like a Little Mermaid live action film. Like, fine.
And we already know that Disney's live action fare has been pretty iffy. So, like, even if you genuinely have concerns about the quality of the content, which most people who are complaining about don't seem to, I mean, we knew, right? We know. Like, the live action remakes have historically been pretty hit or miss. On that subject, though, for those listening who are wondering what the hell we're talking about, we're here to talk about D23. If you're wondering, will I understand it if I haven't seen D22? Yes, I think so. I had that joke in my back pocket all day, Chris. Been waiting for that.
It was worth it. I enjoyed it. I genuinely did. They do change the name it is D23 every year, isn't it?
It's D23 because Disney was invented in 1923, although the company that became the Disney company started in 1923, which means next year is the 100-year anniversary of Disney.
Oh, nice. I look forward to them doing a big anniversary special and not marketing it, even though it's only weeks away and we still don't know the title. Oh, that was a deep cut Doctor Who reference for people, wasn't it? But those that got it loved it.
Oh, they did. The Doctor Who magazine cover came out this week and everyone thought that was going to have the title on the front. Just called it the Centenary Special. Starting to think that might just be its title. But
Jesus.
Anyway, doesn't matter.
It's this month, isn't it?
Yeah. No, it comes out in October.
Oh, okay, right, fine. Okay.
So it's 4 to 6 weeks away. But it is weird that they've not marketed it yet. Anyway, we're here to talk about D23, all of the not news. For anyone who listens to our podcast, Nothing But Static, and is you will know already. Chris and I had some expectations for this. We talked about it on the podcast. We predicted the possibility of maybe some casting announcements, some trailers. We didn't get a lot, if I'm honest. I think everyone who was in the room had a good time because they did like a on-stage performance of the Captain America song from the Hawkeye show. They brought out a bunch of different members of the cast. There was lots of footage shown that was exclusive to the room. So I'm sure the people there had a great time, but I will say very underwhelming from the perspective of a guy sat refreshing Twitter.
Especially when did you especially with the Marvel, just refreshing Marvel Studios going, oh no, I think this might be it. Okay. But I will say, for everyone too critical on that, right, a couple of things. One, some leakers somewhere were suggesting we'd get reveals and stuff. Disney set no expectation themselves, so you can't be too mad that you didn't get, you can be like, it's a shame we didn't get fantastic forecasting, but you can't be angry at Disney for not revealing something that they didn't promise to reveal. Right. And as Dan said, it is actually fundamentally an event for the people in the room. And the people in the room had a good time and got a lot of stuff. And whilst part of me at first did go, oh, that is, if I'd have been predicting, though, I'd have been predicting that, Comic-Con would have been the tease and D23 would have been the sort of the reveals or more reveals. But actually, D23, they're in competition with themselves. They're not, you know, they've got, as Dan said, me and Dan have both described us sat there refreshing D23. They've got us. At Comic-Con, you want to be the one showing your big guns. Do you know what I mean? You want to be the one going, fucking look over here, don't look over there, look over here.
Yeah,
and
because at Comic-Con, DC
it.
have a panel, you know. Warner Brothers have a panel, like, so, you know, Universal probably have a panel. I can't remember, but they probably do. So yeah, you're in competition. There was no one. I mean, God, the same week Disney did D23, Warner Brothers announced the cancellation of DC Fandom this year. It's not off the dome this year, guys. It's not off the dome. So sad.
That's
R.I.P.
a
DC.
shame. Surely for the
Yeah. Well, let's do Fandom and talk about all the great things we've either cancelled or have pushed back because the stars are problematic. What are they selling? What are they putting on Fandom, Chris? More Shazam trailers? More Black Adam trailers? Like, what? They've got nothing. There's nothing left.
I saw a tweet about Black Adam that said that Black Adam looks like it's shot on the set where they filmed the fictional films in The Boys.
Yes, I saw that same tweet. I don't know who put that out, but it's very, very accurate. It's really good. That movie, honestly, everyone keeps talking about how good that movie looks. I think that movie looks pretty terrible. Is it just me? Like,
no, I don't think it looks great. No,
I don't know, and I know I'm going to get accused of being like, oh, you know, Disney Marvel fanboy. Look, there are plenty of Marvel movies I'm not a big fan of. Like, I'm not, you know. I mean, I can be bought if Disney want to throw me some money. I will take it. But I've currently not been bought, and I'll tell you right now, for my money, like, I'll watch any of the things pretty much announced across Disney's weekend over Black Adam. To be honest with you.
Yeah, for sure. But that's the thing. Like, you're still gonna watch it. Like, but the problem is for me, it looks like a, you know, decent suit. There's nothing about it making me go, ooh. I'm sorry, and I'm sorry for the only argument I've heard really kind of the, you know, the big thing that is making people go ooh is The Rock, and The Rock's great. Love The Rock, but I can see The Rock being The Rock in the Jumanji movies or any other number of films. So yeah.
And also, I just think, like genuinely, like, of all the big movies coming up, it's one of the few that I'm just like, I'll watch that on streaming.
Yeah.
I don't know if I care enough to go see that opening day. Like, I'm not. The only thing that will change that is if it comes out and all the reviews say it's amazing. What was it The Rock tweeted? That really hilarious tweet he put out. The hierarchy of the DCEU is about to shift. And I'm like, mate, it's a hierarchy with you and Shazam because everyone else is gone. Like, You're in a hierarchy with no other characters because Henry Cavill's fucking gone. We've no more Batflag. Like, we're cutting Michael Keaton's Batman out of every fucking thing. Who's left?
It's ridiculous.
They're clearly not currently planning on Wonder Woman 3. Like, what? Who are you going up against? Mr. Johnson, Mr. Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
For sure. But anyway, we are here. We are here to discuss D23. Mm-hmm. Should we get the biggest thing out of the way, Dan? Should we just talk about the biggest thing up front?
Obviously, yes.
Tim Allen's making a Santa Claus series, guys,
and it's called The Santa Clauses, which I like.
Yes, it was a fun trailer, fun poster, fun trailer. I don't know I assume it's a. It sounds so British and so in my 30s here, but I assume it was a sports personality in the trailer, Dan.
Maybe who?
Well, I assume that was the joke because he talked about Brady, so I assume the person he was interviewing for the job was like another sports, like a footballer or something.
Yeah, maybe. I'll be honest, Chris. I watched that trailer in the middle of the night on Twitter and haven't gone to look at it since. So,
oh mate, I watched that trailer three times in a row.
All I remember from the trailer is that they confirmed that the premise is that, quite rightly, rather than waiting to be murdered by his next successor, he's decided to retire before being murdered for the role of Santa Claus, and he's now interviewing for new Santa Clauses. That's what I took away from it. I didn't remember the joke specifically, but yeah, that could be it.
Yeah, well, the joke I'm trying to
because Cal Penn's not in the trailer. Is that right?
No, he wasn't. No,
that's a shame. I kind of want to see what they're going to do with that. But oh yeah, I've got it up here. The Santa Clauses trailer. Let's see. Yeah, we're in. We're in Magic Christmas Land. He's flying through the sky. Disney Plus original series. Kids are getting presents from Santa. He's announcing he's retiring. Everyone looks real sad about it. Tim Allen returns. Who is he interviewing? Who's this guy?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to work out.
Oh, I don't recognize him. What do they call him? Do you remember the dialogue?
No, but he, like I say, he references Brady, which I assume, because that is a footballer in America, isn't it?
Yeah, Tom Brady. It doesn't look like Tom Brady to me, but I don't...
No. He's sort of making the point against Tom Brady.
I don't know.
Is anyone naming him in the comments? Like...
There's a great comment. Doesn't this movie already exist? I swear I've seen this Santa already. I mean, yeah. Yeah, it does. Anyway.
I've looked on 3 articles about this trailer and no one is sort of naming who's in it.
Maybe that suggests it's no one. No one in the comments.
Maybe.
Which, by the way, I mean, there aren't that many comments. That's upsetting.
No, I don't think...
It's only had
I don't think people are as
15,000
excited
views.
about
Oh, wait, this isn't the official...
Oh, wait.
Okay. My bad. I'm not looking at the official...
here we go. Here we go, Dan. Peyton Manning.
Oh, that is a guy. I know that name. I think he's a
He's
baseball
a Hall
man.
of Fame quarterback.
Oh, no. Oh, okay. I got that wrong. He's a football man.
According to this article.
Yep, that sounds about right. It's only 600,000 views on the Disney Plus YouTube page.
Is that it?
That does seem low, doesn't it? Because
Yeah,
didn't Mandalorian get like 3 million, and Tales of the Jedi got like 4 million, and everyone was like, Tales of the Jedi got bigger views.
I think they're releasing it too early as well. Like, doesn't it premiere like November 16th or something?
Yeah, but we said this, didn't we? Like you know, it's a Christmas
thing.
thing.
About Hawkeye.
You've got it like in the bank. You might as well do a little trailer for the investors and stuff on Disney.
No, I mean it's airing. No, I mean November 16th is early for the premiere.
Wait, it's airing in November?
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Look at the poster.
Oh Christ! Oh well, we're screwed. We've planned out our reviews of. Thanks Disney, you bastards.
Hold on. 2-episode premiere, November... I can't read that properly. Oh, God damn it. November 28th? Oh, maybe it's not that bad then.
Oh no, we're from December 6th, so we're okay. December 6th, December 13th, and December 20th. For those who are curious, we're going to be reviewing the Santa Claus 1, 2, and 3 on the YouTube channel, on the Rewind Reviews feed. It's very exciting. Anyway, my point is, I think this looks good. I like the sound of it.
Sorry,
that
November.
makes sense.
It's set to premiere November 16th. I think that's too early.
Yeah, it's a little too early, but I guess they want the last episodes airing at Christmas. How many episodes is it? Like 10? Yeah, you don't want it running through January, do you? A Christmas show.
Well, no, obviously. It doesn't say how long it is, how many episodes. It looked fun. It looked like everything I wanted and expected it to be. We got a bit of Christmas. We got a glimpse of Bernard back. We got a shot which seemingly has their latest child and Charlie, although not a big age gap between those two. We got Elizabeth Mitchell. We got some fun stuff.
I really want Bernard to be like, yeah, for a little while I went to the real world and it was an actor called David Krumholtz and I was in a procedural television show, but I've given that back up to come back here and work for you again.
I really hope that would be a great way of explaining how an elf that isn't meant to age looks older.
Yeah.
It looks fun. For those unfamiliar, we are very excited about this.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where it's such a stupid idea. It's got to be like it's going to be entertaining for its own reasons. Like, we've talked about this. Like, I have mixed feelings on the Santa Claus movies. 'Cause I think the first one's pretty solid, but they're all like it's one of those movies that always raises more questions than it answers in terms of this is essentially a horror movie about a man who gets a curse that disfigures him and forces him into a job he doesn't want.
I watch these movies every year and adore them, but I don't think even the first one holds up that well.
Well, we'll find out because we're going to be reviewing them in a couple of weeks. So yeah, anyone who's curious, stick around, subscribe, like all that jazz, and you'll hear us reviewing those later. But yeah, that's coming. I think it's good. They didn't give us much except for the trailer and a poster. But that's the thing. All this stuff, it's like we already knew it was coming, and now here's a poster. Like, that's what was really weird about this. I tell you what, let's talk about the actual, like the things we didn't know were coming. Let's get some of these out of the way. Inside Out 2. I think that's pretty good. I think that's I'm on board for an Inside Out 2. I was surprised by the announcement. Amy Poehler's back, which kind of suggests we're still getting Riley. Because I think a lot of people were hoping it'd be like just a different person, and a different person's, like, inside of their head. But Amy Poehler voiced Riley's Joy, specifically, so I assume that means we're back inside Riley's head. But I think the idea of Riley going through teenage years, gaining more emotions, getting more, beings in her head, making her confused and stuff. I think that's good. I think it's a good idea. It's one of the few Pixar movies with actual scope to get a sequel. Like, I never want to hear them announce Up 2. Do you know what I mean?
No,
I'm not watching Up 2.
That'd probably be the worst thing they could announce.
It's called Down, and it's just everyone's miserable for yet another few hours of my life.
Turns out he had a second wife who also died.
Jesus Christ! Oh God! Don't put me through that,
appalling.
Pixar.
I agree. That I think it has a lot of scope. And you know what? Tackle puberty, man. Like, do it. I think you're Pixar. You can do it. Like, you can get away with doing that. Some of the issues you've tackled in other films, like like
Turning
let's deal
Red.
with the complex. Yeah, let's deal with the complex emotions of that. And I suppose, does it tread on Turning Red's toes a bit? I don't know, but
as long as it comes at it from a different angle, I think that's fine. It doesn't need to be from the sort of mother-daughter relationship angle. It can look at it from the young girl getting to grips with school sort of angle. Maybe don't focus it on her and the parents like Turning Red did. There's different approaches you can take that will make it unique. But yeah, I'm excited for that. I think that's a really good idea. Like I said, I know everyone's mad because like a few years ago Disney said, "Oh, Pixar aren't really doing sequels anymore. They're getting out of the sequel game," and everyone went, "Woohoo, that's a good thing." And I think on the whole that is a good thing. But again, I think this is like the one that it's like that's a fair one. I think that's, I think I think that's like that. I think that's one that like I go, yeah, please, I'll take that. I don't need a Monsters Inc. sequel. I don't need an Up sequel. But I think there's scope in the concept of Inside Out to do another movie and it'd be really good. So
yeah, but problem is it's the Watchmen argument, isn't it? You look at I did vocally shoot down Toy Story 4, and I thought Toy Story 4 was fucking phenomenal. So give me the right team. Yeah, you could probably pull it off.
Yeah,
so,
if they're doing it for the right reasons, if they've got like a good idea for a story and they're not just seeing dollar signs, I think that's great. Speaking of just seeing dollar signs, they've announced Mufasa, the Lion King. They're saying 2024. I'm hoping it's 2020 never, and I'm hoping this is some sort of prank. They're going to ultimately reveal that Ashton Kutcher's going to pop out of up from behind something and be like, "Do you remember that show I did where I pranked people? Well, we've brought it back, and this is it. Mufasa, the Lion King, isn't really happening." And I know why. It made an absolute bazillion dollars, the last one, but it was awful and creatively bankrupt. And the animation style, no thank you, because it removed all emotion from the lines. I didn't like it. It was a real shitty movie, and now we have a prequel, not directed by Jon Favreau. So, who have they brought in? They've got to be. Is it at least a good director? Let it be a good director. Let me salvage something nice to say about this. You talk about it. What you think about it? And I'll.
But who's I probably wouldn't have seen it either way because I wasn't a big fan of The Lion King. I don't think enough people talk about as well as all the stuff about the animation errors and all of that stuff. But my cousin made a really good point on that, which was on the Lion King live action remake, which is if you keep some cast the same, i.e. James Earl Jones, if you have him as Mufasa, suddenly the animation style and everything else is just heightened, because you're already, if you have the same actor reading the same lines, you're immediately starting from a place of, well, this feels slightly off. Something's weird about this, because it's not what you expect to see when you hear that actor reading those lines. Like, so you're really starting off on a bad foot, because suddenly half the thing sounds right, but it doesn't look right, and then the responses are coming from a different actor, which is weird, and like, you've just got all these things which make it a weird choice. So despite the fact that that's how I felt about The Lion King, I still would have preferred them to announce a sequel to it, because a completely original, different second story with all of that cast and stuff back. Great. This, like, what? I mean, this is just one of those classic. Well, we know the ultimate end of this story. Like, I don't know.
Not only do we know the ultimate end, but like, is Mufasa that interesting a character? That we need to learn how he grew up and learn to be wise.
The interesting thing about it is his relationship with Scar. You can't resolve that by the end of this movie. You can't. Like, it's just weird. Like, I just don't.
Well,
I don't know what there is to say about Mufasa. And
I don't either.
Could always be wrong, but yeah, I'm with you on this not being a project I'm particularly pumped about.
Yeah, I just looked up who they've got to direct it, and fuck you, Disney. Like, just fuck you. Like,
have you gone? I can't hear you. Oh, you're back. You're there.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just saying fuck you, Disney, over and over again. They've cast.
Oh, okay.
They've hired Barry Jenkins as the director who directed Moonlight and If Beale Street Could Talk and a bunch of other really great stuff, like episodes of a TV show called The Nick. Wow. That's incredible. Maybe he's got a story he wants to tell. I don't know. I mean, it looks like they've hired the same writer as the last one. This guy Jeff Nathanson, who worked on the last one. Oh, as well as Pirates of the Caribbean, Salazar's Revenge. So not a great pedigree. He's one of Disney's, like, oh god, he worked on the story of Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Jesus. So I don't know. They've hired a shitty writer but a really good director. I don't know.
Dan, surely one of the biggest injustices of recent cinema is the fact that guy gets credited as the screenplay writer for that movie, when it is essentially the same script as before and the original writers don't exist.
Yeah, that's true. That's really true. Yeah.
Like,
they took the Lion King script and they remade it and just lost all of the heart and soul somehow. Yeah. All right, some of the shite they've announced, but God knows when we'll see it. Or some of this stuff has dates, but like, I don't know. So it doesn't, like, they're doing a Peter Pan and Wendy thing. I don't care. Do you ever wonder? Do you want to ever know the backstory to the star that everyone wishes on in Disney movies? They're doing that. It's called Wish. It comes out in fall next year. I don't know. They're doing another Haunted Mansion. I don't know why. I don't know why. There's a new Snow White movie. I don't know why. I think they got Gal Gadot playing the witch, the evil witch. I don't know why these things exist. Thank you, Disney, for some of that stuff. Many of those projects sound awful. Should I talk about one I like, or do you have anything to say on any of those at all?
No, I think I remember reading the Snow White thing and going, "Oh, that could be interesting," because I think Gal Gadot could play quite a good evil queen. But that doesn't mean I'm itching to see it. And I didn't really. You know what? I'm just not very familiar with Peter Pan. Like Hook. I know the story of Peter Pan, but I'm like, Peter Pan and Wendy. Is that a sequel? Is that? But I didn't look into it. So.
Oh, Chris, you know what you've just done?
But,
You've done a thing.
What?
You're gonna regret this choice.
What? Okay, go on. What?
One of my all-time favorite kids movies that I've been saving for a long time for Rewind reviews has just been pushed forward to this year. It's Hook.
Hook, presumably. Yeah, yeah. That's fine. I don't mind. I've seen Hook. I just don't remember it very well.
Oh, it's a great movie. Anyway, so I'll tell you one I am excited about, Chris. It's coming out September 30th. It's coming out soon, mate. It's like 2 weeks away. Disney Plus.
Just to clarify, Peter Pan is based on the 1904 plan, Peter Pan or the Boy Who Wouldn't Grow Up. Oh, so it's like a retelling of Peter Pan, by the looks of it, maybe.
Well, there's like 1,000 of them.
Cool.
That's the thing, is that because it's in, I think that the original story of Peter Pan is now in like, and has been in for like 10, 20 years into like, in public domain. So there's just like, if you look up the amount of Peter Pan movies that have been made in the last like, I don't know, 20 years, there's like 4 or 5 of them, and they've all been pretty bad. There was one where Captain Hook's crew sang Nirvana song.
Yeah, I did see that. Is Hook, isn't it, or something? I think I've seen that. Why have I seen that?
No, that's not Hook. That's not the Robin Williams Hook.
Alright, what is that then?
No, that's from like 2000. I want to say it's from 2017, 2016. But that's what I'm saying. Like the different studios have gone back to this well too many times, and I just don't know if modern people, like kids particularly, are interested in the story of Peter Pan anymore. I don't think that fairy tale is like the household story it once was. I think Disney, when they did the original animated version, the book was still reasonably popular and the story was still reasonably well known. I don't think that's true anymore. I don't see any kid being excited for a Peter Pan project.
I think Jude Law. Well, first of all, Pan is the film that did the Nirvana thing.
What year was it?
So that had,
Did I get the year right?
2015.
Earlier than I thought.
Had Garrett Hedlund as Hook, Hugh Jackman as Blackbeard, etc. I like the idea of Jude Law as Hook. I think that's good casting.
Yeah. Well, I like the idea of Jude Law as anything. Jude Law is about to. So for slight spoilers, we're about to record the last couple of Harry Potter rewind reviews, and honestly, sexy young Dumbledore is the only thing that's going to get me through them.
Yeah. Well, you are a huge fan of sexy young Dumbledore.
Jude Law's the best Dumbledore.
Yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing. We'll find out if I disagree, but I doubt I will.
Mm-hmm. He's very good. I like him. It is what it is. Go on. How many different? Have you got a list of like all the different Peter Pan properties that have happened?
So live action films? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, including this one.
Fucking hell. See what I mean? It's just people keep going. They keep going back to it. I mean, you know what? Someone point me to the last time it worked, because I'll be fucking damned if it wasn't either Hook, which I'm not even sure that was a commercial success when it originally came out, even though it had Robin Williams in it. And then further back than that, it's the original animated Disney one, which was popular because it was an animated Disney movie, and they basically could have put out a movie at the time called Turdy McTurdface and His Adventures Through Turdland, and it would have made $1 billion. So, I just don't think people care about Peter Pan.
Well, Dan, in 2020 they released Come Away, which had a box office of 1,748,000. So,
Zing. Good work. God, how long? Wow, we've already been talking for 20 minutes. This is ridiculous. Right, let's move this along very quickly.
What's the thing you're excited for?
I'm excited for Hocus Pocus 2. It comes out September the 30th, just in time for spooky season. I like the first Hocus Pocus. It's a really fun movie. The sequel looks great. It looks really in the spirit of the first one. Super campy. The trailer looks good. I'm excited. Really excited.
Yeah, it was a good looking trailer.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and Disenchanted. We should talk about that. That looks great too. That's November this year, 24th of November. I'm really excited about that. I loved Enchanted. Give me more of that, please. And and I tell you what, in terms of like a movie where I was like, does it need a sequel? How do you up the stakes? The premise of Disenchanted is very clever, in my opinion.
Nice. I haven't seen the first one, but I'm excited to hear you excited, Dan, about something other than sexy young Dumbledore.
Yeah. Well, occasionally it happens. Should we move on to the juicy stuff? Should we get to the Marvels and the Lucasfilms of it all?
Mm-hmm.
So let's get Lucasfilm out of the way. They've confirmed Tales of the Jedi coming October 26th. I think that looks good. They put out a trailer. I'm in. I was already in, but the trailer made me very excited. Willow, that's happening. That looks all right. Then they've given us a date for the Bad Batch Season 2, January 4th, and they've announced Indiana Jones 5 is coming June 30th, and I think they showed footage in the room, but did not release it online. Any of that tickle your fancy, Chris?
I'm for someone not particularly into the franchise. I'm pretty pumped for Indiana Jones 5 for a few reasons. One, Harrison Ford's excited, which is always good.
Which never happens.
Tends to just be Indiana Jones, but he seems proper pumped, seems proper emotional. And Phoebe Waller-Bridge's involvement. She's a fucking genius, so I think she would, potentially know how to really handle that property and do something interesting with it. And I think, I'm gonna rewatch the others in the lead up, and I'm excited for Indiana Jones 5. I think it's gonna be good.
I agree. I'd like to add a reason to the list because I agree with your reasons. They're on my list of reasons why I'm excited. My third reason, it would be James Mangold as a director. I think he's a really, really good director. I thought Logan and Le Mans 66 were both really great movies, and I'm very interested to see what he does with this. I think he's genuinely one of the better directors working in Hollywood right now. He's got a proper classic also, style.
Yeah, and knows, he's literally dealt with sort of gritty aging heroes before, so it's very exciting. Bad Batch was got very well reviewed, so pleased that's coming back, and
What was that last one, sorry? Oh, Bad Batch. Yes, I'm excited about that. We should talk about the Mandalorian trailer. They put out a Mandalorian trailer. Someone put a joke on Twitter. I can't credit them, I'm sorry, but it was a good joke. I'm going to repeat it. Mandalorian must be very tired from carrying the entire Star Wars franchise on his back.
I saw a look of I think it was Poe from the sequel trilogy, just looking really confused, and it just said everyone who skipped Boba Fett but has just watched the trailer for Mandalorian Series 3.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to handle that. I don't know what they're going to do. Previously on Boba Fett. I don't know what they do.
Look, I like the look of it. It's taken 3 years to get there, but we're at a point where it's like, fuck it, more Mandalorians, and that's fine. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I would agree.
It's good for me.
So, shall we get to the juicy goodness that is Marvel? So a lot of the stuff happened in the room. Not many things were outside of the room. The two big things, I think, were the Werewolf by Night trailer and the reveal of the lineup for Thunderbolts. Where do you want to start? Let's start here because, it's not particularly... We don't really review trailers, but obviously Secret Invasion had a trailer too. It looked fine.
So... Just quickly on that, I enjoyed that Secret Invasion trailer. I enjoy the continuation of let's pick a genre and the show be that genre. I think it's a really good technique. I think an espionage drama makes sense when it's led by Nick Fury. Olivia Colman looks great. Great to see Rhodes. Love a bit of Rhodes. Was really pleased as well for them to sort of just reaffirm that Armor Wars is coming, which felt like, oh yeah, we didn't mention it at Comic-Con, but it is still happening, guys. Don't worry.
Yeah.
That was funny.
It was like, because they didn't even, it's not like they had new info. It's clearly right at the back end of their current, what they're working on. So they're just not ready to talk about it yet, or even put a firm date on it, which is why they didn't talk about it at Comic-Con, because quite frankly, they just don't know where it fits in on that, that timeline graphic they always do. They're just they're not sure, so there's just no point in sticking it on there yet. So as a result, it looked like it was just sort of soft cancelled, secretly cancelled, shuffled off into the night. And I understand why, from a fan perspective, this project is due, and they don't talk about it at this event, even though they announced it at an early event. The secret to solving that problem is to not announce it when they announced it. We complained that year they announced way too much. We said that it was, save some stuff so you have other stuff. You can imagine if we'd not heard about Armor Wars.
Yeah, and it was announced at D23 here, yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
That's a great announcement for now. We said at the time, they're either going to release all this stuff in the space of a year and we're all going to hate them for it, or they've just released, they've just announced their next 3 or 4 years worth of shows, in which case, what do they do at D23 and Comic-Con next year? I'm sure we said that on this very podcast at the time. I feel like we definitely had that conversation, and this is a perfect example of it. They had nothing new to say about it. They had nothing new to add, but here we are. Oh, it's still happening, guys. Don't worry.
They had Emmy Award nominated Don Cheadle in his Emmy Award nominated role as Rhodes on stage talking about Secret Invasion. So again, I think it's one of those things where in the room probably didn't
an
seem
Oscar
that bad,
winner
'cause
Olivia Colman. Oh no, she's in Secret Invasion. She's not in No Wars.
No, she's not. I will point out that Don Cheadle got nominated for a fucking Emmy for a 2-minute appearance in Captain America and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like,
I thought you were going to steal the Weekly Planet joke there and refer to that show as the two Captain America boys. Which is what they call it.
No, that's very
its
good.
entire run.
I didn't know that. No, all day long I'm going to be repeating that fact because it's mind-blowing. So many other actors in that show deserved a nomination, a nomination, a nod. But so yeah, I think again it's one of those things. We're in the room, makes a bit more sense. Like he stood on stage anyway, and they go, "Oh yeah, this is coming." But yeah, I like the look of Secret Invasion. I'm up for some espionage. It looks good. Yeah. So I assume you echo that sentiment about Secret Invasion.
Yeah, I think what the trailer they showed was a bit bland. I'll be honest, but at the same time, it's a teaser. Like it's gonna be in it. Yeah. We're not at that point yet where they're gonna be giving away all the juicy goods. I don't think that's. Do you know what I mean? That's just not where we're at in the marketing for that show yet. It's too far away. So yeah, what we got was a kind of a very vague teaser. Didn't really give a lot of detail.
I hope that is the case. They're just keeping stuff back because I think if they release a Secret Invasion show that is, a really interesting espionage, really zeroed in on and focused on Fury and a bit of Rhodes, a bit of I can't remember the character that Colby Smulders plays.
Maria Hill.
Maria Hill. I think that show could be amazing, and still people would go, yeah, but in the comics, Secret Invasion has got loads of people. Like they're all chucked in, and they're all Skrulls, and they're transforming into different heroes, and all of this sort of stuff. I think hopefully there's a bit of that in there. Otherwise, people are going to be. It's going to be one of those things that we talked about up top. The expectation that people create in their own heads, like they did with Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness,
right. Or with WandaVision, where
not
every
going to be
it
met.
was Mephisto.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a
Doctor
genuine
Strange
issue
was
they're going to
turning
run
up
into
at the
now
end
because
and-
I think they've been kind of clever calling it Secret Invasion, not Secret Wars, whichever one is the Skrull one of those two. I always mix them up because the people are going to be expecting because that comic opens up with a spaceship landing and the Avengers getting out of it. And there are already Avengers on Earth. And it's like, which Avengers are the real Avengers? And it gets pretty chaotic pretty quickly. Like, I remember reading those panels and being like, my mind just melting. Like, holy shit, And not only that, but there were already Skrulls on Earth. Was a reveal later on, and that they were already they'd already captured and then taken the place of several of our favorite heroes before even that happened, and it was all plans within plans, and it got very complicated, but in a really satisfying, fun, crazy way. Like it was just lots of chaos, and I think in a comic like that sort of stuff you get away with. I get that you've got to go more subtle because you can't afford to bring back. Because the real thing to do, right? If this was a movie, a big budget movie, if this is like the end of Phase 4, 5, whatever we're in now, not the Phase 6 one with Kang, but the end of the phase before, and you were doing a big Avengers movie with this premise, well, you bring back Robert Downey Jr. and you bring back Chris Evans, and it's like
yeah, for sure,
they're back. We love that they're back, but something's not right. Actually, it turns out it's not really them; it's Skrulls. So you get the excitement, you get to have the actors back, but you're not betraying the deaths. But also then you get the you get to see that turn sour and like you have your heart broken to have them back, but not really. I think there's a lot you could do with a big budget versions, but that's not what we're getting. They're doing a small scale TV version of it, and I think if they handle it right, it'll be good. But it's not going to change what people's expectations of it are, and I think people are expecting more than they are currently getting.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And the trailer didn't exactly assuage those fears for people, I think, because it kind of made it look a little bit low-key. And I'm okay with that, because it's literally called Secret Invasion. Like, if the story is they've just infiltrated all elements of, like, humanity, and we've got to figure this out, because there are two sets of Skrulls. There's the good Skrulls we met in Captain Marvel. There's some not-so-good Skrulls that are knocking about. We've got to figure out which sect is doing what, and you can't trust anybody. Skrulls are a perfect villain for a spy piece. You know? Because they can literally look and be anyone. And that's very, very scary from that perspective, from an espionage perspective. So I think there's potential in the story. But yeah, trailer was just fine. I like seeing Nick Fury. Olivia Colman was briefly in the trailer. I don't know what kind of role Rhodey will have in it. I mean, Rhodey might just be in like 2 episodes or something, because obviously the end of this story is gonna obviously set up Armor Wars. So maybe he's just writing it at the end. Who knows?
To be fair, Olivia Colman was in it a lot more than Emilia Clarke.
Is she supposed to be in this, Emilia Clarke, as well?
Yeah, there's like a frame of Emilia Clarke in the trailer.
Jesus, I didn't even notice it. That says a lot.
One frame, yeah, it's crazy.
Look, I don't want to crap on it. We don't know yet, do we? We've not seen too much. So I'm reserve judgment. It could be really good. I mean, look, She-Hulk's really good. They're knocking it out of the park at the moment with some of these Disney Plus shows. So Miss Marvel was really good too. There were a few, wobblier ones up top, but yeah, I liked the Secret Invasion trailer. And I mean, if we're talking about trailers they released, Chris, Choo Choo, all aboard the hype train, Werewolf by Night. Holy fuck,
yeah,
right? How good does this look?
It looks amazing. Yeah.
What? Where's this been hiding? I know they were saying they were doing it. I'm sure they already announced it months and years ago, and it's been quietly sort of happening in the background or whatever. But fucking hell.
So, is this the Halloween special that
Yes.
sort of got kicked around, but we didn't get any sort of firmer details on it? Right, okay. Yeah, I mean, that's the way to do it. We're working on something for Halloween. Like, okay, cool. And then, boom, when it's ready, poster, kick-ass trailer, build up the hype.
It's a great trailer. And the reveal that it's been directed by composer Michael Giacchino, who, for those who don't know, did like the Spider-Man music and I think the Avengers theme. I think that's him too.
Wow, cool.
So, like, it's it's an odd choice, but if he was working at Marvel doing music for their movies and just went, hey guys, like, I've kind of, I mean, he's had a long history with Disney anyway. He worked on, like, Incredibles and Ratatouille and Up, but, he's obviously, look, he's got a lot of sway. He's got a big old Hollywood dong that he can just swing around and be like, let me work on this. And they will, because he's worked on so many amazing projects. But the fact that he went in at Disney and was just like, look, let me direct this special for Halloween. Remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. And yeah,
it looks beautiful.
That they've let him do it, that they don't seem to have interfered. It's just, it just is what it is. Like, you're going to make this weird old sort of grindhouse style black and white horror movie kind of set in the MCU with a werewolf. Yeah, I'm in. Like, yeah, give me that. Give me more weird shit. Like, this is perfect for Disney Plus. Just give me some weird shit. Low stakes. One set. Just keep doing this. This is great. I don't know. I'm really pumped for this. I think this is a really good shout. And you're right. This is the way to do it. Like, don't announce it properly. Kind of hint that you're working on it, and then like just drop this awesome trailer.
Well, it just looks incredibly altered. I've been using that word so much recently. But it just looks incredibly stylized, incredibly deliberate, like it, and different and unique and weird and fun. And like you, that's kind of what I want. And the shows that have really dug into genre, the shows that have been weird, like, the strength of WandaVision was those first couple of episodes where it was just a sitcom. Like, and then, most people's complaint was when it got a bit more traditional Marvel. Same with Miss Marvel, like, really well put together, amazing show when it was its kind of very specific thing. And when it all got a bit, right, we need the team up, we need the big battle at the end. That the ending wasn't brilliant for people. Like, stick to a thing all the way through, and it feels like, I mean, it's going to be very hard for this to turn into a big fight in the street with, sky beams. This feels like it's going to stay weird throughout and stuff. So that's exciting.
Yeah, agreed. And just a little correction. Sorry for all of you who've already put your YouTube comments below. Sorry, he didn't work on the Avengers movie. Sorry, that's Alan Silvestri. I said it and then was like, wait, no, he's worked with Marvel. He's done a bunch of Marvel movies. I think he did Love and Thunder, and he did all the Spider-Man movies, but he didn't specifically work on the Avengers movies. It's just a little adjustment there. But he's worked on several Marvel and Star Wars projects for Disney. So Alan Silvestri, famous for doing like Back to the Future music, was the guy who did the Avengers movies.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. But Michael Giacchino did the start of the music for the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies, and that music is better than those movies deserve.
Yeah, that's fair. I think this looks brilliant. What did you think of Thunderbolts then?
Yeah, so this is a discussion, isn't it? Everyone's gotten a bit upset about this. I think, first of all, anyone who's put in their stupid tweets out where they're like circling half the crowd and being like, does the same thing. Fuck off. Like, you're assembling an army of soldiers, guess what? They're soldiers. Like, that doesn't... You're not going to convince me the movie is automatically going to be bad because some of them have similar power sets. Because that's not what makes a good movie. It might mean less dynamic or varied fight scenes, but not necessarily. You know, we've seen them do some pretty creative stuff with Captain America in the various movies. You know, leaping through windows and stuff and doing sort of like backflips off walls and like using his shield as like a leaping pad. And I don't know, they've found ways to make Captain America dynamic in the movies, more so than he's ever been in the comics, in my opinion. But then again, I'm not a huge fan of the Captain America comics, so I've not read a huge number of them. So actually don't quote me on that because that might not be true. But for me, the disappointment is more that I think we are missing Zemo. And maybe we're missing Abomination. I think both of those guys... what they've announced is Red Guardian, Ghost, US Agent, Taskmaster, Yelena, or as me and Nadia have been calling her, Pockets, and of course Bucky himself, the Winter Soldier. It is a good team. I like to see their dynamic, but they're mostly built up from like 2 movies.
Yeah, including Black Widow, which wasn't a roaring success.
Yeah. There's 3 members of the cast here from Black Widow. That's slightly worrying because I didn't care for Black Widow. So I don't know. I like this group. I think there's a lot of fun to be had in this dynamic. I'm interested in Bucky's place in all this because I think if they're all of these characters to some extent have had some sort of redemption arc, right? They've gone from sort of villain to hero, right, to some degree, or they've turned out to have been misunderstood. Particularly, I think that's true of Taskmaster and Ghost, right? But US Agent, very much only just starting to not be an asshole, with one choice made at the very end of Falcon the Winter Soldier, and even that, we even discussed it when we reviewed it, not enough of an excuse. So, you throw in Winter Soldier, you throw in Bucky on this team, who has like very much completed his hero arc, and is now, as far as I'm concerned, as good of a good guy as any of the good guys. Is he not too far completed his hero arc to be teamed up with these guys who are all still in that questionable anti-hero territory? Or is that maybe the fun? Is that the intent? Is that the dynamic, maybe?
I was going to say, maybe that's the point. Like, seeing him attempt to drag these other people to the good side.
Yeah,
but
maybe.
Is Bucky enough of a keystone character for that? You know, if that was Clint or something, no, I don't think people want that. Yeah, no, it should be Bucky. Yeah, Bucky's potentially the right person for that. And I'm just pleased to see that Bucky's, getting something. But then again, I'd have been quite happy if Bucky was turning up in Captain America New World Order.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I've got really mixed feelings on that. I just think like, I in terms of all the complaints about how they've all got the same power set, I just think that's dumb, and I don't think that really means anything. But I do think the dynamic needed a Zemo, if I'm being honest, because then you've got because you've got all these people who are in the middle, right? Sort of like will go where they're like, have made choices in the past for the greater good for themselves, maybe selfish choices, but aren't outright evil, right? Yelena's not outright evil. Taskmaster's not outright evil. Ghost isn't outright evil. Red Guardian not outright evil, right? And when they were evil in those things, it's because they were manipulated to be so, right? That's most of those characters, right? So Winter Soldier trying to get them to be outright good versus maybe a bit of a leadership struggle with someone like Zemo, who has other ideas, That I don't know. I just feel like they need that. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. My concern is more about the dynamics of the characters than it is the power sets.
Do you reckon there's a possibility there's more characters from like things that haven't come out yet that we just haven't seen, or do you think because they put up the big poster with them all, it's setting a clear no, this is the film?
I think in terms of the Thunderbolts team, it's these guys. But I don't think that precludes Zemo maybe showing up as the villain. And that's why he's not in the poster as part of the team. But I don't think the team gets any bigger than this. I don't think. It's already quite a lot of characters to manage, to be fair.
Even Zemo, though, I completely agree with you. But even Zemo brings this sort of film of bringing multiple properties together. It's still just the three, isn't it? Ant-Man and the Wasp, Black Widow, and the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's I really if I want one thing from this film, I want Taskmaster to be done right. I want to see Taskmaster actually copying other heroes' power sets. And, I just want to see Taskmaster really executed well. I didn't feel Taskmaster as a premise was particularly well executed in Black Widow. And I'd love to see, her flip from hero to hero and fighting style to fighting style. I think if done properly, that'd be amazing. Yeah.
Or even like Red Guardian gets like knocked out or trapped or whatever, but just before that happened, Taskmaster watched what he did and recreates it and does it exactly right. You know what I mean? Like, finding creative ways to have Taskmaster do the mimicry technique where they can see a thing and then immediately do it, make that clearer as a premise I think could be cool. I think Ghost has a lot of potential for interesting action sequences too. I mean, we have got essentially 3 Captain Americas on this team. In Red Guardian, US Agent, and Winter Soldier. But, I think they can all be used in different and unique ways.
And Yelena's brilliant. Like she's been fun in everything she's turned up in. So
yes.
I think Florence. It's a series of amazing actors: Wyatt Russell, Florence Pugh, David Harbour, Sebastian Stan. Obviously,
and Julia Louis-Dreyfus will be in it. So yeah.
So it's a brilliant set of actors. So yeah, why not?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree. Shall we then quickly tackle Captain America New World Order? They have announced they are bringing back Tim Blake Nelson to return as the leader, a character he played in The Incredible Hulk. I tell you one thing I would have never predicted about 2022, Chris. The return of Tim Roth as Abomination and the return of Tim Blake Nelson as the leader.
But didn't they handle it brilliant in She-Hulk? I was a different man back then, literally.
Yes. I'm not complaining. Just great. I'll take it. Yeah, give me that. We're bringing Danny Ramirez back to play Falcon.
Presumably as well, were it not for the tragic passing of the actor, Thunderbolt Ross would have been presumably involved in Thunderbolts.
Yes. Yes. Oh man, we could have had 3 different references to the original Incredible Hulk movie this year. That would have been that's a real shame.
That would have been brilliant, wouldn't it? But yeah, it was. I want to do him. It was William Hurt, wasn't it? I want to do him credit.
Who played Thunderbolt Ross?
William Hurt.
General Ross, actor. Thunderbolt Ross.
Yes, it was William Hurt.
Yeah, William Hurt.
It was a stunning performance, and it's a huge shame we don't get to see him in that film. But
I
Julia
said it was Sam Elliott, but Sam Elliott played that character in the 2003 Ang Lee Hulk. So
right. I think he was brilliant. And I think Julia, I can never say her name correctly. Julia
Louise
Dreyfus is going to be fantastic. But yeah, how crazy to think, like you say, we could have had three returns from the Incredible Hulk.
Mad, absolutely mad. I think. Look, I said this at the time. I stand by it. If you're gonna say that Sam's the new Cap, then we need to do a new Cap movie and a full-on movie. Him at the forefront. I'm excited. I think it'll be good. I think he deserves it. I think it'll be good.
Yeah,
we've not mentioned as well. They're bringing back Carl Lumbly to play Isaiah Bradley.
So he was incredible. Like as
yes.
People that listen to our review of that show, I know I really, really have a special place for that show. I thought it tackled some big things brilliantly. Do we think, though, that like obviously we don't know the plot or anything. I'm theorizing for the sake of discussion. Isaiah Bradley is so tied into the TV show. Do you think potentially the Captain America movie should have stood on its own a bit, away from the Falcon and the Winter Soldier TV show?
No, I think that's okay because I think you can reintroduce who these characters are pretty clearly. I don't think any of the callbacks to that show aren't going to be explainable in a couple of lines.
Mm. And do you think actually it would have done that show a disservice if you didn't, to some degree, continue the plots? If you didn't, maybe Isaiah Bradley being there implies they're going to delve into some of those themes again.
Yeah, maybe. I'm slightly nervous about that because I just think, like we said at the time, like it took them doing it in a TV show where they had the time to really explore it, to get the balls to do it, and that we said at the time, like tackling these ideas in a movie, they would have been glossed over, done quickly, a couple of lines of dialogue, because we've got to, it's a movie, we got to get moving, we got a skybeam to get to, so I'd be slightly nervous. I want that, but I'd be worried the Marvel machine might prevent them from tackling it the way I want them to, and doing it justice.
Yeah, that's fair.
Doing it properly.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, if they're going to get into that stuff again, that idea, maybe that line we had from Isaiah Bradley in the show where he was like, they'll never let a person of color be Captain America, which is just like the boldest thing I think Disney have ever put in one of these things. Yeah. I don't know. I'm excited. I'm really. I am excited. I'm trepidatious, but if they're gonna go down that route and tell that story, I'm in. Like that's a really good idea. And the fact they're bringing that character back does suggest that at least, at the very least, when he's struggling, he's gonna turn to Isaiah Bradley for advice. They're gonna sit down in that living room and have more conversations, and I'll take that any day of the week.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and they've announced as well that an actress called Shira Haas, who I don't know, is joining the cast as an Israeli superhero called Sabra, who I'm not familiar with. But yeah, sure. I don't know what they're going to do with that, but I'm intrigued.
Yeah, great. And Vincent D'Onofrio, is it? He's back in most things.
He's back. So they announced that the filming for Echo is complete and that Vincent D'Onofrio will be in it as Kingpin, and they've announced he will also be part of Daredevil Born Again, and they had him and good old Charlie Cox out on stage, and he ruffled his hair or something, and everyone likes those two together because they seem to be good friends, and that's cool.
And everyone went, that's brilliant. Still concerned that it's 18 episodes.
Yeah. 18 episodes seems like a lot.
Do you think Kristen Ritter's sitting somewhere going, "Oh, come on, guys, come on, use me"?
No, but I know Rosario Dawson is because she said it many times.
Yeah, has she? Fair play.
Yeah. Rosario Dawson has been very clear that she wants to come back and do this stuff again.
Yeah. And she was great, and she was in most of them, wasn't she? So.
Yeah, she got to show up in a lot of those shows. I think the only one she said she didn't show up in was Punisher. And that she wants to do, if they do Punisher now, that she wants to complete the set, as it were.
That Punisher show was so weird, though, wasn't it? Because even though Punisher as a character had been in Daredevil, that show felt so separate to all of it.
Yeah, it did. I remember.
Probably to be fair, because he wasn't in the Defenders. Maybe it's as simple as that. But
that's true. We should talk about the Fantastic Four, or the lack of news from Fantastic Four, the expectation for some reason this week. And again, not set by Disney, just leaks and information and teasers that we were going to get the casting. They nipped that in the bud pretty early, though. Actually, way before the Marvel panel went ahead, they said don't expect any Fantastic Four news, today. And the only thing they confirmed was the release date, which I think we'd already heard anyway, and that they've confirmed the long-standing rumor that Matt Shakman was going to be directing. I think that's a fine choice. A lot of people were like, I'm glad John Watts is gone or whatever. What happened? Why did people turn on John Watts? John Watts is a good director. I don't really understand.
Yeah, he's a great director. Like, No Way Home is a feat of directing. Like, it's how they pulled off that magic trick, and John Watts is a big part of that. So
but apparently Matt Shakman has left Star Trek 4, the J.J. Abrams verse Star Trek 4, to come do this. So that puts that movie back into limbo.
There's a lot of hype for this film, isn't there? Like, it seems to have taken over, like, the notion of X-Men coming over as, like, the thing everyone's talking about and hyped for.
Is that because Marvel haven't really, other than doing the little da-da-da-da-da-da theme in several things, sprinkled some teasers through some of their shows and movies, they're not really talking about X-Men. They've not announced X-Men. X-Men clearly isn't on the immediate horizon. But Fantastic Four is.
Yeah, because I think people sometimes give too much credit to... Like, don't get me wrong, I'm sure without a doubt that Kevin Feige, has ideas and a plan in his head, but I don't think it's this constructed master plan people think it is. I honestly think something like the Miss Marvel music beat could be as simple as the Miss Marvel team going, "It'd be fun if we did this. Can we do that?" And Feige or someone else going, "Yeah, why not? Yeah, go for it."
I don't know about that one, because that's confirming a mutant exists in the MCU. I think they must have some idea about what they want to do with introducing mutants if they've allowed that. And there was a Wolverine reference in She-Hulk. I think that they've already figured out what they want to do is wait a long time so they can claim mutants have been running around for a certain number of years. Sprinkle in references now so that in 3 years' time, 4 years' time, maybe after Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, they go, now mutants. And the movie is, hey, mutants have been around for 4 or 5 years. We've just not told any stories about them yet.
That would be the thing to hold on to, wouldn't it? Like, in terms of where you go after the multiverse saga, like X-Men versus the Avengers. But then again, if you really want to capitalize on that, you'd do it in the multiverse saga and have it be, Hugh Jackman. But yeah,
I don't think they're going to do that. I think what we'll get, most likely, like I think we'll get a Deadpool movie in the MCU, or sort of produced by Disney at least, before we get an X-Men movie. And I think it's when we do get to the X-Men, I think it's going to very much be following the snap, several people developed powers, mutations. There were a couple already that that existed for a while. Hint, hint. Professor X, Magneto, any mutant you want to have had a longer time on this planet. But following the snap or something, tons of people came back and they were mutated slightly when they returned.
Yeah.
And now the society is out to get them because no one likes anyone who's different.
I have no idea what we were talking about before we got onto X-Men.
We were talking about Fantastic Four because we were talking about how people are more excited about Fantastic
how the
Four
hype,
than X-Men.
yeah.
And I do just think that's proximity, right? We know casting is due. We know a director has been attached. We know the movie's coming out in a couple years' time. We've got a date.
It also, to be fair, I might just look up to check this. Is it kind of, especially now Thunderbolts have been revealed, is it sort of the last one? You know, we know who's playing Blade, we know who's in a lot of these things. When Moon Knight was announced, it was Oscar Isaac was kind of announced with Moon Knight, I believe. So
there was a pretty big gap where he was strongly rumored but not confirmed. There was definitely a gap. I remember that being a big discussion point for a while. You're right. I think not announcing the casting is almost increased the hype.
Yeah, because I think it may be the only... Yeah, so the Marvels, we know who's in that. Blade, we know who's in that. Thunderbolts, we now know who's in that. Obviously, we don't know who are in the 2 Avengers films, but, you know, Avengers
everyone.
of some kinds.
Just fucking everyone. Yeah. Like, they're all in it. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's the only thing that's not been announced. I tell you what I want to know. I want to know if anything's happening with Eternals. I want to know if that world is being revisited, because it must be to some degree, because you don't put Harry Styles in without utilising Harry Styles. But yeah, I'm very intrigued about that.
Yeah, no, me too. But yeah, other things they did, they played some footage from Quantumania again. I think it's the same footage they played from Comic-Con. They did say that it's going to connect directly to Avengers Kang Dynasty, which we kind of knew. But there you go. We know Randall Park is back, which is cool.
Yeah, that's great.
I think that's all they said about that. Loki, they announced Ki Hei Kwan, if I hope I pronounced that right, who was in Everything Everywhere All at Once. Absolutely wonderful actor. Did a great job in that movie. Is going to be in the second series of Loki as a TVA employee. And that the series will start exactly where the first season left off. I'm happy about that. No time skips, please. I want to have the ramifications of that reveal from the ending of that series. With Armor Wars, we forgot to mention this. They said it won't film until next year, so that is still a ways away. But it's going to be taking place immediately after Secret Invasion, so that makes sense. As a result of the Skrull stuff, some Iron Man tech got into the wrong hands, and now it's chasing that down. They filmed entirely Echo. They've completed that. They have announced. They reaffirmed that Daredevil Born Again is going to be 18 episodes and that they're filming it in the beginning of 2023. And 18 episodes is too many episodes. It's too many episodes.
Yeah, it's concerning.
Too many episodes, Chris. I don't want it. When it was 10 episodes on Netflix, I said it was too many episodes because it always dragged in the middle of each season. 8 more episodes.
Although if it's very episodic, like if She-Hulk was 10 and was 18 episodes, you wouldn't be worried about that.
No, because it's episodic. You're right. If they're doing story of the week stuff, then it won't drag in them and sag in the middle where they're having to spin the wheels on the story and expand it out and add lots of kinks in the road just to make the road longer. You're right. Mm. So we'll see. Let's be positive. The last thing we haven't really talked about is the Marvels. They've given us a plot, which I wasn't expecting. Basically, every time any of the 3 heroes, which is obviously Ms. Marvel, Captain Marvel, and Monica Rambeau, whenever they use their powers, they swap locations inadvertently.
Oh, that's cool.
It happens. And they've got to sort of team up to solve this problem and figure out what's going on. Apparently, cool. They confirmed or either show. I'm trying to figure out if they showed this or if they described this, but that basically we get the other half of the ending of Ms. Marvel. So Ms. Marvel, she used her powers, and then suddenly Captain Marvel was in her bedroom, but apparently she whizzed off to wherever Captain Marvel had been. And she wakes up, or sort of regains consciousness, basically next to Goose the Cat from the first Captain Marvel movie. So Goose the Cat is returning, as completely confirmed. Oh, they did show a preview. That's the clip they showed. Okay, that's what they showed in the footage. I think that's fun. I'm excited for this movie. I was very, very sad to hear the Brie Larson interview that everyone has been playing over and over again on Twitter the last 24 hours. It's despicable what the internet has done to that woman. I think she deserved better. I think we all deserve better as humanity.
I haven't seen that, but that sounds horrific.
Yeah, she just talked about she was just talking about does anyone even want me to do this again? Like I'm probably they asked her if she'll play Captain Marvel again. She's like, does anyone want that? Like she's been so beaten down by just this constant the weird thing where she was basically made the fucking the figurehead for woke Disney or whatever, and has just been given abuse for several years straight. You know what? If she does leave, I'll be sad, but I'll understand.
Especially like people, and also people claiming that film wasn't a success. It's fucking madness. That film was a huge success.
Yeah, was it $1.2 billion it made? In
something like that. But Dan, Disney brought all those tickets. Fucking ridiculous.
Oh yeah,
I recommend it again. Dan,
yeah.
Dan Mill did a brilliant video breaking that down, down all the obscene things people were saying, and like pulling them apart, going right to the source, and being like, "Where's this information come from?" Like, and drilling into sources, and it's a brilliant video.
It was $1,128,000,000. So it was 1.12 billion. That's a lot of money, isn't it?
Ridiculous.
And it's worth adding that the budget was 160 million. So even if you do the double it for marketing, that's just over 300 million. So they spent 300 million and they earned 1.12 billion. I don't understand on any metric how Captain Marvel wasn't an absolute massive hit.
It was huge. They also did they show footage from Ironheart? Or they certainly talked about Ironheart, didn't they?
Yeah, they confirmed that Anthony Ramos is going to be playing the Hood. I think that's good casting. I like Anthony Ramos. They said it's going to explore the battle between magic and technology. I like that idea. They did apparently show a little bit of footage according to this, but there's no description of what that footage is. And of course, the show has a new logo. I like that they do this. They always just update the logo. Like, the first time we see the logo, it's basically the comic book version of the logo. And then they do like a really boring, like, it's going to be on Disney Plus logo. Like, the Armor Wars, and the Secret Invasion logos, the new versions are both so much more uninteresting than their original logos. Makes me sad, but fine. I get it. Modern marketing has to.
With that. Although I did like the Ironheart logo, but I completely agree about Secret Invasion and Armor Wars for sure.
Yeah, I think you're right. Actually, I think the Ironheart logo is probably as good or better than the last one they showed. I think you're right. I think you're right on that one. I was more thinking of
Secret Wars. And,
Secret Invasion
and Armor Wars.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, is that everything? Did we do it all? Have we done it? This took way longer than I thought.
So. Oh, we haven't. Did Jude Law's? Is it Jude Law? Someone's doing a Star Wars thing, aren't they? It's Jude Law, isn't it? Jude Law doing a Star Wars thing.
Jude Law was doing something. You're right. They announced Jude Law was doing a Star Wars thing. It's not in either of these lists. Let me just see. Jude Law. Jude Law. Star Wars. There you go. It's straight away. Oh yeah, he's been cast in Skeleton Crew.
That's it. Skeleton Crew. Yeah.
Jude Law enters the Star Wars galaxy. First look at his character from Skeleton Crew, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, is the reason John Watts is not working on Spider-Man.
Right. Okay.
Not Spider-Man, sorry. Fantastic Four. I think he left Fantastic Four to do the Star Wars thing.
Oh, okay, cool.
And then Skeleton Crew is the Star Wars thing.
So here's a question. Here's a wrap-up question for you, Dan. If you could watch any of these things we've talked about right now, what would it be, and why is it Tim Allen's new Santa Claus sequel series?
It wouldn't be, would it? I'd choose something that's further away. Like, I know that's the boring answer, but that's the truth.
Yeah,
because Tim Allen's Santa Claus TV series, I've only got to wait a couple of weeks for that. So, the actual answer, Chris, let me have a look. Of the stuff they talked about, Christ, it might be something like the Marvels, you know?
No, I didn't read the plot of that, and now that I've heard the plot of that, that seems like a lot of fun.
Yeah, and Fantastic Four maybe, because again, that's like the thing that's the furthest away that I'm the most excited about. On the Star Wars front, obviously, you know, Mandalorian, I'm pretty excited for it, and that is a long time to wait. Like, they were like 2023. I'm like, ugh, it's too long.
I'm not as pumped about that. I'd probably check out Skeleton Crew.
Yeah.
I want to see something new, and I worry slightly from that trailer that it's that classic, you know, expand the world thing You know, there's even a line that's like, "Did you think he was the only Mandalorian?" Like, that is a trope that can backfire.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I like the idea of him going back to Mandalore to regain his honor because he took his helmet off and having to sort of fight for the planet. And because he's wielding the Darksaber, which basically means you're supposed to be leader. The actual leader, Bo-Katan Kryze, will want that very much from him. So he's going to have to fight his way through a bunch of other Mandalorians, and he's not even going to be interested in leaving. He's just doing it to get underneath the planet to go to the place that lady told him to go to get his honor back. I don't know. I think that's an interesting plot. I'm excited for that. I think that's going to be good.
Yeah, and to be fair, I said that I'd probably choose Skeleton Crew. Presumably, that's going to be episode 3 of The Mandalorian anyway, so we'll be fine.
You're not wrong. I think I'm choosing Fantastic Four, but but only because that's the thing that's the furthest away. Like the Marvels is coming out next year. Fantastic Four isn't coming out until 2024, so.
Yeah, that's fair.
But it's between those two projects. Like genuinely, of the Marvel ones, the two I'm like really excited for. I'm really excited to see what they do with Fantastic Four, and I am really excited to see the Marvels. I think the Marvels is going to be a ton of fun.
Fair, sweet.
Mm-hmm. And if people are thinking, "Damn, the thing you spoke the most excitedly for was Werewolf by Night. Why aren't you picking that?" I'll tell you why. It's out in 2 weeks. What about you? What are you choosing?
Well. But yeah, because we can't pick Avengers because they didn't really talk about that. So
Quantum Mania, I guess maybe is another thought I didn't have, but that's an option, I guess.
Yeah. I am very intrigued to see Kang. I'm very intrigued to see Bill Murray. So maybe Quantum Mania. I'm very excited for Black Panther, but obviously that's coming soon. I think because we don't know the cast yet, because it would be full of the biggest reveals. Fantastic Four is the answer. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think so. Cool. Well, so this took longer than I thought, but we did it. For us moaning about the lack of announcements, we did talk about so many things. So I guess even when there was no news, in my head I went, we're still going to go for more than an hour. An hour was my cap in my head. I was like, we're never going to talk for more than an hour. An hour and 15 is madness.
Yeah, but, history, we've been doing this for 10 years, Dan. You're not paying attention to the numbers, mate.
Yeah, it's true. And we didn't even touch National Treasure Edge of History.
Ugh.
You excited about that, Chris?
So many things. Huh?
You excited about that?
Yeah, I have no thoughts about that.
Are you excited for Win or Lose, a Pixar TV series, a long-form series that's coming out in fall 2023?
Hey, but now we're just naming things we named on the podcast. I genuinely am quite intrigued to see what Pixar do with a long-form TV series, to be fair.
You excited for Elemental, a movie that looks suspiciously like Inside Out visually?
Didn't know it was happening.
One of them's a fire being, Chris, and the other one's an icy being, and they've got to get on. It's going to be so hard. They're just going to be so different.
And that's where the drama lies.
That's coming out June next year, mate. I'm excited. Booking tickets for you right now.
Nice. I'd love a gift. I'll go for free if you're buying.
You know what? You've caught me there in my web of lies. You've called my bluff, Chris, and I don't like it.
We are back next not this coming Sunday, but next Sunday with She-Hulk, The Rings of Power, and House of the Dragon.
Mm-hmm. We're going to be reviewing those lovely shows. So if you're listening to this on the YouTube channel and thinking, well, where will I find that? You just head over to your podcast app of choice. So that, Spotify or Overcast, or you can use the iTunes podcast app if you're a real masochist. if you just like punishing yourself. You can use all those platforms and search Nothing But Static, and our podcast will come up. This week we reviewed the Baby, the Bear, and the Dairy Girls. So you can go listen to that if you want right now, or if you wait a couple of weeks, we're going to be reviewing Rings of Power and the other things we just said. What were the other things? Oh, God, House of the Dragon,
She-Hulk, and House of the Dragon.
Yeah, there you go, She-Hulk as well. Yeah. So if you want to hear us review those things, head over to our podcast for those in a couple of weeks' time. Otherwise, That's everything. Thank you guys for listening. Sorry this was so long. Wasn't expecting that, but hey, here we are. Especially to those of you who clicked on it because, I put a picture of Brie Larson in the thumbnail with tears coming out of her eyes. She knows that she's shit in big bold letters.
I do not want to be part of the problem.
The thing is, we wouldn't be part of the problem, Chris, because the content of this podcast is not that. So.
Yeah, but that's if Brie Larson was scrolling through YouTube, she wouldn't listen to find that out.
I don't think she's looking. But what I like the idea of is the people who do think that clicking on it, and then it'd be a big trick. Would be like, we tricked you. We played a big trick. We're lefties. We don't think that you get broke when you go woke. We think that's a stupid thing to think.
Yeah, but then it becomes. But you had to say you thought like that to get views, didn't you? Remember, I want no part in it, Dan.
Comments down below, guys. You guys know what I've done with the thumbnail at this point, so.
Fuck's sake.
Do you think D24 will be good?
That's fine. I'd rather that. D23 thoughts and D24 predictions. That's what I want to see the video called.
And everyone just in the comments angry. It's always called D23, Dan.
That's what I want to see it called. What are your D24 predictions?
Oh, God.
I tell you what, my D24 prediction is posters for everything that was announced at Comic-Con a few months before.
With maybe an extra trailer or two.
And a 32-part Luke Cage series.
Followed by a 56-part Jessica Jones series. Iron Fist gets a TV movie.
Yeah, Iron Fist gets whatever they're calling Werewolf by Night, a special presentation.
Yeah,
where they kill Iron Fist in the first 5 minutes,
and then another guy shows up and they're like, you can be the Iron Fist now.
Yeah.
Actually, no, you never see Iron Fist's face because it's not him. He wouldn't come back. So they Doctor Who it when Colin Baker left.
Yeah, I was going to say it's Colin Baker.
It's just a guy in a wig.
That would be incredible. In fact, because their hair looks kind of similar, they just reused that clip from Colin Baker's last Doctor.
Oh, God. Right, there you go. Disney, you've got our number. Give us a call. We'll sort this right out. Anyway. Thanks everyone for listening. Like the video if you've seen this on YouTube. If you're listening to this on the normal MBS feed, just thank you for listening in general. Feel free to give us a like or a subscribe or a poke or a heart or a review or stars or whatever they do on your podcast app of choice. You can almost always do it in app. We really appreciate it. Otherwise, tell a friend or keep listening. We appreciate all those things too. If you've got any thoughts, you can either head over to the YouTube version of this very video and put the comments down there. You can get us on Twitter. I'm at Dan Doolan. Chris is at C Billingham. And the general Nothing But Static one is at Nothing But Static without the G. Of course, if you wish to send us thoughts that are longer than a YouTube comment or a tweet will contain, mail at nothingbutstatic.co.uk. Again, thanks everyone for listening. I've been Dan Doolan.
I've been Chris Billingham.
We'll see you in a couple of weeks' time for more Nothing But Static. There we go.
We're doing a bonus bit?
Is it just you saying that?
Yeah, that'll do.
Bye!